So welcome to the Heartfulness Institute program on Living from the Heart series. This is a 5-week series where we will explore different techniques of meditation. We will try to understand what is the purpose of this meditation. How does it help us? Because heartfulness meditation has a wide spectrum where it can help people to just use it for a basic relaxation and a meditation, or they can even take it further into their lives where it can expand the consciousness, bring about transformation, and bring about life changes inside ourselves. So it has a very wide spectrum. Today is the first class, which is the introductory class. And so for those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. I do see a lot of people that have been practicing has also joined this class. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for taking time to think that this is useful enough on this evening to join us. So Heartfulness Institute is a non-profit educational organization for wellness and training. And it is affiliated with the UN Peace Program and has similar goals as United Nations to promote peace, harmony, and balance in individuals and thereby in our community. So what do is we offer relaxation and meditation sessions to one and all our services are offered free of charge. So that brings us to the topic, why meditate? What is the need to meditate in this day-to-day life? Why do we need to adopt this practice? Where is the need? So if you look at it that sense, purpose of life is to live life in a spirit of joy and celebration. But if we honestly ask ourselves, are we really living life like that? Are we in a state of joy and celebration and really going through this time on earth with peace and calmness inside our hearts, or are we all stressed out because of personal reasons, because of external reasons, the way the world is, the way the work situation is? So how can we pass through this life remaining stable? What is the reason why we are not able to be peaceful and why we are not able to be stable in our lives? It is because our mind is getting affected by the vibrations from outside. And there is a lot of research done by Heartfulness Institute, Harvard research team, and so many people on different subjects, different topics of how can people live happy lives. So Harvard research proves that there is 3 things that trigger the happiness in the human brain is exercise, meditation, and prayer. That is taking care of our body, our mind, and our spirit. And all of us, whether we do it or not in the perfect way, we all know that how to take care of our body. We know the basics that we have to eat right, we have to exercise, we have to shower, we have to sleep, you know. So if we honestly ask ourselves, are we able to eat right all the time? Why? Why can't we eat right all the time? Because our will is not at our command. We succumb to weaknesses. And are we able to exercise the way that we are supposed to be doing? Why is that? Knowing that this is the truth, that we are supposed to be doing that, and it is good for our well-being. Why is that we're not able to do it? Our will is not at our command. So the research proves that even when we are falling asleep, even in our top-notch beds of the 21st century, that we spend all our hard-earning money and invest, 2 things that at least our American population that we invest, we don't hesitate, is our shoes and our bed because they are good for us. But even in our top-notch beds, are we really able to fall asleep sound, or are we waking up tired and disturbed? Why is that? If the body is tired and if the body is given the best comfort and you are lying down, and when you wake up, you should feel rejuvenated. Why is that body when is rested and you're not able to feel rejuvenation? Because your mind is not at rest. When you lie down, your mind was not at rest. We've been using this mind going out into the world, performing action and collecting so much stress, so much vibrations, and it enters into our field and it disturbs our balance. So even though we take care of the body in every possible perfect way, we are not able to sleep, rest, relax, and wake up refreshed and motivated. So the research proves even to take care of your body, we need to learn to maintain the mind. And when it comes to the spirit part of it, we all have different religious beliefs, we have different spiritual beliefs, we have different belief systems. Even in our own churches and temples, we have 1001 sections that have different beliefs in it. But if we ask ourselves honestly, even in our most sacred places where we are supposed to go and be in a spirit of silence and experience calmness and sacredness and purity and love, are we really able to be in a state of silence? Or even in those places, our mind is going in thousand directions: husband, wife, children, problems, anger, hatred. This person said that, that person said this. Why is this person in this church? He doesn't deserve to be here. So, even in the most sacred places where you're supposed to be in a state of silence, because your mind is not at your command and it's pulling you in thousand directions, you are in a disturbed state. So, the research proves even to tap into the prayerful state of silence, we have to learn to maintain the mind. One thing we forgot this concept. We know that body needs maintenance, our cars need maintenance, our houses need maintenance, our lawnmower needs maintenance. Everything needs maintenance. But the modern generation, the modern lifestyle, we forgot this concept of maintaining the mind, resting the mind, allowing the mind to tap into that heart's field and allow it to rest in that silence. Just like how our body, when it is tired, you sit down and after 15-20 minutes, you are refreshed in some level. If not completely, you are refreshed. It took its rest. So also this mind needs rest. So meditation is all about training your mind. The most powerful instrument in the human hands is the power of the mind. And as we are living life, we are utilizing that thought power and we are going out into the world performing action. And in the process, we don't realize is as thought backed by action, we are collecting vibrations. Just like your body goes into the world, we live life, we collect dust. That's why when we come home, we shower. So the body is purified and refreshed and feels rested and relaxed. The same way, the mind that we are utilizing continuously, going into the external world, performing action, we are collecting a lot of stress. So many people called it so many things. Science calls it stress, Hinduism calls it karma. In heartfulness, we call it just impressions. Because when you say it's karma, it cannot be removed. You have to go through suffering for it. But in heartfulness, with the practices, the Heartfulness Guide, revered Daji Mr. Kamlesh Patel says that you design your own destiny. If you are able to, if you learn how to maintain the body and manage with these impressions that we are collecting in our day-to-day life, if we are able to manage to release them out of our own field with our own thought power, we can design our own destiny and live better lives. So that is what this class is about, where we are going to explore what basic meditation is, what are the steps of this meditation. And there are different techniques available for us to come to this state of balance. And we will explore on all those. But today it is the basic class. So what is meditation is all about? Meditation is about learning to be in the now. It is in this now. Training the mind to be in this now. And diverting the attention from out into the heart's positive energy field. Because neuroscience says In a given week, if you are able to keep silent for a few hours here and there, so totaling about say 3 to 4 hours in a whole week, if you are able to be silent and tap into the silent field, your frontal brain regenerates new cells. This is according to science. And the frontal brain is all about mental balance, emotional stability, and creativity. So these things are affected with stress. And if you are able to be in a silent state, the frontal brain regenerates new cells and you are able to restore this stability, emotional stability, mental stability, and creativity. So what is creativity? Creativity is your ability to respond in the now spontaneously. And that is why scientists are able to discover. That is why Einstein said 99 times I think, I achieve nothing. But one time, if I am able to swim in the silence of my heart, inspiration comes from within. That is the power of the silence. And also, according to science again, neuroplasticity, it's called. They observe that children until the age of 5, they absorb everything. They're able to learn so much. Their brain capacity is such that they are able to absorb that. And so that 5 years of the child's life is very crucial. So that is the nature of the mind. Wherever we put it, it absorbs that quality. So as adults, what we are doing is we're taking this mind and completely absorbing in the external world of filled with stress. So what is it absorbing? It is absorbing the stress. It is getting distressed. It is getting disturbed. And it is losing its ability of balance. And reverse that. If you are able to let the mind be absorbed in silence, it absorbs the nature of the silence. It becomes quiet. And because of absorbing the nature of the silence, the mental balance happens, emotional stability happens, creativity happens, and you restore yourself. You are able to be stable, balanced being. And this is all science. And according to spirituality also, all these yoga systems. What is yoga? Yoga means union. Union of yourself with the higher self that is within you, which is the absolute state of being. That original state of balance, when we came from that original Big Bang or whatever, that field exists in the human heart. And yoga is about emergence of yourself coming out of external world into this inner absolute state of balance, which is silence. So you become that state of silence. So why do you want to become that state of silence according to yoga? So you live a balanced life. Point of life is to live life in a state of balance. So whatever happens, we remain steady, poised, and we are able to manage it. So if I give a mundane example, it is like when you are lifting weights. Why do you lift weights? Because you want to strengthen your muscle. In the beginning, 5 pounds is difficult. But as you keep on practicing, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, you're able to lift. So the heart-mind field of our human beings, as we collect so many impressions, it became so weak, we did not maintain it. So our field is so weak that we are getting hurt for every little thing. Small things happen, they disturb us. We go into depression. We go into mood swings. We are emotionally disturbed. We hate the situations. We entertain fear. We entertain victimhood. Oh, everybody is doing this to me. It is because your heart-mind field is not strong enough to withstand the stress. It is like in the beginning when you lift that, it hurts so badly because you haven't lifted the weights. So also anything happens, our inner being starts to feel hurt very quickly. So meditation is the solution to strengthen this heart-mind field. It is the way. And that is what yoga is. In yoga, Patanjali is the sage who was a very old sage who he created a path, a method to arrive at this state of balance. And he put certain steps. In that first step is like yama, that means you have certain disciplines, like speak the truth. You do not take things from other people. You don't steal. And then the next step is where niyama. These are all moral principles. In the lifetime, first basic steps are like how we teach our children, to speak nicely to other people, have manners, speak the truth, do the right thing. Same way in yoga, first step of yama is doing the right things. And it has like 5 steps in it. And the second step of niyama means having discipline, not doing things that we are not supposed to do, having discipline. And third thing is breathing. And in breathing, even according to science, I'm trying to give you guys an idea of science and spirituality, and how does heartfulness meditation help you to arrive at that state of balance. That is what my goal is. Science says, according to you, when you are having a panic attack, you are feeling stressful, you close your right nostril, you breathe through your left nostril, belly breathing. Belly breathing is like a baby. You breathe in, your belly goes out, you breathe out, your belly goes in. If you do that 10 times, your parasympathetic nervous system gets affected and you calm down. It is like taking a chill pill. That is why when people are doing yoga, they are relaxed. Why are they relaxed? Because they are taking deep breaths. They're breathing. So there are different kinds of breathing that you want to learn from the right person who can teach you the right breathing, because you don't want to do the wrong breathing. But the basic breathings are, close your right nostril and breathe through your left nostril. So your parasympathetic nervous system gets affected. So if you're at your desk, you're feeling stressed out, do that. And when you wake up in the morning and you're feeling groggy and you don't feel alert, you do the opposite. You close your left nostril, breathe through your right nostril. So to calm down, you close your right nostril because heart is on the left side. Remember that. If you're feeling stressed out, you need to breathe the side of your heart. So your parasympathetic nervous system gets affected, you calm down. And if you do the other breathing, your sympathetic nervous system gets affected and you become alert. This is about breathing according to science. Even in yoga, that is what they do. They try to do the breathing. And what breathing did in science is calm the nervous system, right? In yoga, they say when you learn to breathe properly, your mind will come to a state of stillness, because that is what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to achieve stillness of the mind. And the posture, next thing that helps to arrive at the stillness of the mind is keeping the body still. That is what asanas are. That is why in yoga, they do so many asanas. Funny thing is people stop with just the physical exercise and they don't go beyond. Yoga is a part of the whole thing to arrive at the state of balance. It is just one speck of those 8 steps that we need to practice to arrive at the goal. What is the goal? Balance, absolute balance. And the asanas, originally the sages of India, when they were meditating, they realized they were meditating for hours. And they realized that they needed to stretch their body so they can keep their body still, so they can arrive at the stillness of the heart, the silence of the heart. And that is why yoga was invented. And in the next step in this 8 steps is, it's known as pratyahara, which means diverting your attention from external world into the heart's field. Because when neuroscientists said you have to be in a state of silence, let the mind soak in the silence for it to achieve its state of balance, where is this silence? In the heart, in the center of the heart is the field of silence. So if you're able to divert your attention from the external world, the sensory objective world, into the inner dimension of the silence and soak your mind in that, you come to balance. But that diversion of that mind is a very difficult thing. the heartfulness practice, there is a particular technique that will help us, and I will talk about that later. And then comes dharana, which means focused awareness. So first, you develop good habits, you let go of bad habits, you learn to breathe, you learn to sit properly, you learn to divert your attention, you come to a focused awareness of diverting the mind into that heart's field, and then you start to meditate. And what is meditation? Thinking about one thing continuously. What is it that you're thinking here? You are resting the mind with the idea that the light is present in the heart. Why light? When you are wanting to purify your body, what do? We soak the body in the water. Dirt is diffused, body is refreshed. And here, because it is a physical thing, you give it a physical avenue. And here you are trying to, mind is subtler. It is an energy field. It is not a physical thing. Brain is the physical thing, but mind is a subtler energy field. And you have to allow it with the intention that it is soaking in the light. And as it is soaking and resting in the light, the dirt is diffused. What is the dirt of the mind? Thoughts. And then eventually, as you are meditating, and if you are able to tap into that silence, you will move into a state called samadhi in yoga. What is samadhi? Means a state of balance when original creation began. Sama means same. When it began, original state of balance, that absolute state of balance when everything was silent. So you gradually move into that state of being. And all this is very difficult because basically meditation is being in the now, letting go, taking deep breaths, diverting attention from out to in, and simply resting the mind into the heart's field and just be there and be an observer. You're just being aware and you're observing it. But everybody struggles with this process. Why is that? Because thoughts are coming and we don't know how these thoughts are coming and we don't know how to manage the thoughts. The reason thoughts come is just like our body going into the world, I already told you, it collects dust. That's why we come home and shower. Same way, when the mind is going into the world performing action, it absorbs the negative vibrations. And those vibrations enter into our heart's field and they disturb our balance. And at the end of the day, if you do not release them, they get downloaded into our energy body. Your physical body absorbs the physical things, but the energy body, we have an energy field where we absorb the energy, negative energy. How do we know that? Where is your fear stored? You get bitten by a dog. Every time you see a dog, you are reacting with fear. Where is this fear? In the physical body, when you eat something, it went into the body, it gets absorbed. Body grows, ejects the bad. Body is maintained. It gets its food. Our energy body, we have an energy field where all these impressions, as they at the end of the day get downloaded and they get stored and they disturb our balance. And when this field gets overflooded, nature automatically is pushing things out. Are we making any efforts as we are eating the food? The food is taking its own course and the unwanted is getting ejected. It is nature's way of things. So also in the energy field, the nature's way of things is, as these impressions, the stress, negative vibrations that we are collecting, they get overflooded. They leave our field. Nature is pushing them out of our system. And how did we collect them? By thinking. So how are they going to leave? As thoughts. Like you eat an apple, you throw up an apple, you don't throw up a banana. Same way, whatever we absorb, we are ejecting it. So in meditation, how do you manage thoughts? That is the main question. You help yourself with posture, with breathing. And in heartfulness, there is a very unique feature that helps you to arrive at this state of absolute balance. Our original teacher, he's known as Lalaji. He used to live in the 1800s. And when he was meditating, all these ancient sages, they are like scientists. Our scientists went into the external world to discover things. But in the ancient times, they went into their hearts. Because Heart has that intuitive capacity. We clogged it with the stress that we covered. If we release that, heart is a powerful antenna. That is why we were taught to follow the heart, but we are not able to follow its signals because it's clogged. So this original teacher, when he was meditating, he found a field of vibratory field. It's known as life force. And this field, this technique used to exist in India a long time ago, 72 generations prior to, known as Rama, King Rama, or something like that. So that technique got lost to humanity. And that is where the teacher was able to tap into this vibratory field of the source, draw that vibration. And as he was meditating, he observed when he made the intention that this vibration may flow into the other person and bring them to a state of balance, it automatically happened. This vibration it moved from his dimension into the other person's dimension, and they came to a state of balance. How does it work? It's like tuning our violin. You have a perfect violin and you have a violin that is not tuned. You tune the violin that's not tuned to the perfect violin, you come into a state of get the perfect music out of it. So also he rediscovered this ancient technique of the life force. Because what's happening is we have our physical body, we have our energy body, and we have our pure self. Pure self is pure, eternally pure. It cannot absorb anything. And physical body will absorb the physical things. But as we live life, we were collecting negative vibrations. They were getting absorbed into this energy body. And just, it is a body, so it needs sustenance. Like if you don't feed your physical body for 5 days, what happens? You starve, and eventually if you don't eat, you die. That is what's happening to our energy field. We are only continuously giving it negative vibrations, and we are starving it. We are not giving it any positive vibration for its sustenance. So as a result of it, what's happening is, it's like when you're hungry, what happens to you? You're restless until you eat the food. And that is the restlessness that is happening in human beings. We are not feeding our energy field with proper nourishment of positive energy. We are continuously giving it negative stuff, stress, and we are not doing anything to shower it. If you didn't shower for 10 days, what is the status of your body? It stinks. That is the status of our energy field. We're only collecting vibrations. We don't have any technique to release it. And we're not even giving it its food of positive energy. And this vibratory field that the elder revered Lalaji rediscovered was the field of the life force. Like how food is life force for the physical body, this positive vibration is the life force for our energy body. And that he made sure that there is always a guide who is able to tap into this field, that one person is thoroughly trained. And though that guide always trains enough trainers, so the trainers are able to tap into that field of the teacher and transmit that vibration. And what that vibration does is it enters into our energy field, starts to diffuse these negative vibrations that we collected, and like food getting absorbed into the body, giving us nourishment, this positive energy gets absorbed into our energy body and starts to make us feel calm. And this is the uniqueness of the Heartfulness Institute. First one is the transmission, the life force with which we are able to meditate. And this life force actually diverts your attention from out to in. And it automatically, see, in Heartfulness, we don't try to meditate with your legs crossed or anything like that. If you're able to do it, good. That position will create an individual. We came from the center. There was a Big Bang, original Big Bang, as it's called. And from there, the human beings came. Because of, child having my gene, we all have the same speck of that ultimate center. And it happened with a Big Bang, an expansion. So when you want to go back to that original state of balance that is inside you, you have to contract. And that is why in yoga, they recommend the posture of folding your legs, keeping your hands tight. So you are creating a field to go back. Everything you are doing conducive to go back to that inner silence, to the state of absolute balance. But in heartfulness, we say you sit comfortably, whatever posture that you can hold for a period of 20 minutes to half an hour. And when the trainer transmits this vibration, you automatically fall into this stillness. Your mind is automatically diverted to the inner silence and lets you rest in that heart silence. And for this also, research was done. They did sleep studies, and in that they found that they wired up people and everything. And first they let them meditate on their own. And when they were meditating, there were some people went into first stage of sleep, second stage of sleep. And when this transmission, this life force was given to them and they meditated with the life force, they observed regular meditators were going into third stage sleep, and expert meditators were going into delta state and beyond delta state. And beyond delta is the meditative state where the heart mind field is in a state of balance. So when you're going to meditate today with me, it almost feels like you're in the beginning, you're like, disturbed. Then gradually you feel like you're calming down, and it almost feels like you're going into sleep. Allow yourself to go to sleep. When you go beyond the delta state is when your field is strengthened. That means that's when you are completely rested. When your mind is rested, then it is rejuvenated. And when it is rejuvenated, it becomes a powerful tool in your hands with which you shape yourself, you design your destiny. So in the next class and all that, we'll talk about how to meditate correctly. What are those steps that you follow? And the following class, we talk about how can you release negative vibrations out of your system with this mind that is rested. So today's class, what we are going to do is basically how to rest. We will begin with a relaxation technique and then guide you into meditation and transmit that vibration and allow you to experience that transmission, the life force. And when you come out of that after the meditation, you should feel some refreshment, a feeling of lightness inside yourself that is giving you a taste of that transmission. And next week, we will teach you how you can tap into that field. Because if I'm going to have to depend on somebody all my life, what's the fun of it? I should be able to do it myself. I should know how to do it. In the beginning, I may not be able to. It's just like even simple walking in the first week, you can probably only walk 1,000 steps. Feels like a big deal. After 2 months, you are able to do 10,000 steps. So also in meditation, if you're able to practice regularly with the trainers, with the help of this transmission, gradually what happens is when you meditate on your own also, you're able to tap into this field of transmission, the life force, and receive it yourself and help yourself. And then there is techniques of cleansing where we use the thought to release the negative vibrations. And that is one thing unique for heartfulness, because all the energy body, all the pores are clogged. Even in the physical body, the reason why we do relaxation is there are several vestibules on the physical body and they are all clogged. And some of us, when we go to massage, when we try to get massage, it hurts. Certain points hurt. We know that because they're clogged. And that's when the massage kind of, they rub it, and they let it release. You don't even need to go that such tedious processes with the relaxation technique, with the thought power, because mind is a very powerful instrument in human hands. See, nature gives us, how does a baby know how to drink milk? How does a new calf know how to recognize its mother and how to drink milk? Nature gives us resources. Human beings forgot to use those resources. What are our resources? Power of the mind, power of the heart, power of prayer, power of intention. We almost forgot to use them. What is the power of the mind? Clarity. And our mind is so stressed, it's not clear. What is the power of the heart? Love. And we clogged it with so much hatred and negative vibrations where we can't even love our own people. What is power of intention? It is thought backed by will to make things manifest for you. We're accepting everything. This is my fate. This is how I am. And we forgot that we have the capacity, inherent capacity within ourselves to transform ourselves. And what is power of prayer? Power of prayer is humbleness, where you create a vacuity in the heart so the vibration flows into you. So all these topics we will talk about in the coming weeks. So today my goal is to give you the understanding of the relaxation and also relaxation technique. What works in the relaxation technique is the power of the word. Everything has power. Thoughts have power, words have power. That's why people are able to hurt us. Because I remember my own child, she's not a child anymore, but she asked me when I was doing the relaxation, so you're going to say, relax, mom, and I'm going to relax? I said, okay, Mansa, I'm going to say, Mansa, you're stupid. How do you feel? He says, I'm going to feel horrible for a whole week. Why would you call me that? I said, I just call you stupid. It's just a word. Why are you letting it affect you? You have accepted the word stupid from me, allowed it to go into you, disturb yourself. Why can't you accept the good word, relax, and allow yourself to relax? Because word is a vibration. Thought is a vibration. So in the relaxation technique, this is the power of the word, power of the thought that works. And as you bring your attention to those certain nodules, like when we say focus on your ankles or knees, there are certain meridians there, vestibules there, that clogs your system, and that clogs need to be released. And when that clogs release, then the circulation is there, the energy circulation. We're all clogged everywhere. Our energy flow is not there. Like in the houses, we have all these pipes. If their pipes are clogged, nothing flows. Your AC doesn't work, your heater doesn't work, your water doesn't work. Same thing, we are a machine. Our physical body needs to work properly. Our energy body needs to work properly. And meditation affects that energy body, helps you to come to a state of calmness and balance, and allows you to restore your balance so we can be living a better life. So today, meditation is you are being in the now, you are letting go. When thoughts come, take the help of breathing. Breathing will help you. Take deep breaths, 4 counts in, 6 count out, and come into the heart and simply rest in the heart. That the light is there and my mind is resting in there. Thoughts are coming, allow them to come because they're actually leaving the field. What we do is instead of allowing them to leave, we get involved in them and bring them back into our hearts. So when thoughts are coming, you are an observer. If you really notice, throughout the day, the thoughts are there. But you are focused on something else, so you're not paying attention to it. But that's continuously going on. It is said that there is like 80,000 thoughts that goes on through our mind in a day. So during meditation, a part of it you're observing. You're an observer. But observe, take deep breaths, let them go. And what happens is, after some time, see, when you eat an apple, you can only throw up an apple. You cannot throw up 10 apples. So also this rush of the thoughts slows down as you gradually move with the help of the transmission, the life force, from that disturbed field into the silent field. That is the power of the life force. It's almost like, you're swimming. When you're swimming along with the current, you swim fast. So this life force is like kind of diverting your attention from out into the heart's field, helping you to tap into that silence. So what is this silent field that is so powerful? I can give the example of a mundane example of a tornado. Everything around the tornado is all hectic, chaos. But in the center is the silence. There is nothing. And that nothing is the powerful that takes out everything. And based on that is the vacuum cleaner. There is nothing that sucks it out. So also, because we came from that original nothingness, we have a speck of that gene inside ourselves. The same field exists within ourselves. And that is the most powerful field the human being has in the center of the heart. If we are able to tap into that, bingo, everything falls into place. You start to function like a perfectly tuned machine. Now we are not tuned. If you don't fine tune yourself, if you don't maintain your car, it falls apart. So that is what meditation does, fine tunes our energy field so we can perform at the highest capacity. Human beings have, the mind is very powerful, and human beings are only utilizing 5 or 10% of their mind capacity. We are not using it its fullest potential. Even with that, look at how much scientific invention and how much we are able to accomplish. If we are able to bring our mind to that fullest potential by maintaining it, what can happen to us? Miracles can happen to us. So that is what Heartfulness focuses on. What we want to give you is tools to manage yourself. And as we proceed, We will try to understand that how this energy field is. This energy field, what does it consist? It's consciousness. And what is clogging it? When you are meditating, what is affecting, what in your consciousness is getting affected positively? And if you don't do meditation and if you're just collecting the stuff in the life, stress from the life, how is it negatively affecting your consciousness? Why we became inhuman beings. And if we observe ourselves, human beings, what is humanness? What is the nature of the human being? Human being is supposed to be balanced, loving, joyful, have compassion, be courageous, humble beings, grateful beings, pure beings. Are we that? We got our human gene corrupted with the negative vibrations of the external world. And we need to reverse the process. The reversal process includes few steps. In heartfulness, we have some techniques: a morning meditation, a relaxation, meditation, cleansing technique, some intentions, a night prayer. And as we practice each one of them, as they fall into balance, we start to fall into a state of absolute balance where we start to actually experience peace in our hearts, calmness in our hearts. And also, this meditation, we not only help ourselves when you are meditating, you help your family, you help the entire world. If you bring a big pot of muck into your house, what does your family feel? They smell the stink. You bring a pot full of flowers. What does your family see? Fragrance. I remember the heartfulness leader, Rivia Daji. He was talking to young children because we offer this in schools and colleges and hospitals and everywhere. So he was addressing young kids and he said that if one atom blasts, the surrounding atoms also blast. That is called atomic explosion by Einstein. If one person meditates in the family, the entire family will start to feel the peace. In a given area, research proved that if there is 100 people meditating, 5 miles radius, there won't be any negativity. How do you explain in a regular way? In a dark room, you put a candle, there is light. You put 1,000 candles, there is illumination. So with each one of us meditating and arriving at the state of peace, we not only help ourselves, we also help our family. First, we help our family, and then we help our community. Then we help the world. So that is why individual peace is what leads to the world peace. And self-care is the most important thing. Because even in an airplane, when we are traveling, we all know that when the oxygen mask falls, they say, put it on yourself first before you can even help your child. Because unless I have $100 with me, I cannot help another person, even give sparing $10. If I'm running on zero balance, how can I help another person? If I don't have peace within myself, how can I give peace to my family? So the first thing should be bringing ourselves to a state of calmness and peace and balance. Thereby, we automatically share it. We don't have to make efforts. Does a rose make efforts to share its fragrance? No, because it is in its original state. We had a fragrance of humanness in us. We got it collected dirt around it. Now we can only share the dirt. If we allow ourselves to release that and allow the original humanness to manifest inside ourselves, we share that fragrance. So in a gist, this is what the goal is, a transformation of yourself. But in the beginning, we just ask you to just meditate, do the relaxation, meditation, practice it, see if it's helping you, see if it is helping you when you're meditating with the transmission, because there is no fee or anything to practice this method. There is several researches done, even to the extent that in Pennsylvania hospitals, Heartfulness did a research on for 6 to 8 weeks, and they observed, BP came down, all the health benefits. And they observed a new thing was the telomere. The telomere is the tip of the chromosome. And people who meditated for 6 weeks, the length of the telomere increased. That shows that your lifespan increases. So whether it's sleep studies, whether it's our nervous system getting, parasympathetic nervous system getting affected and making us calm, our telomere length increasing, our BP going down, and us becoming more balanced human beings. There is nothing but only benefit, benefit, benefit. If we take minimum 20 minutes to half an hour in a given day for ourselves, spare for ourselves, and help ourselves. That is the purpose of meditation, helping ourselves, bringing ourselves to that state of absolute balance. And the method is given, the technique is given. So today, that is the brief introduction. I don't know if I covered everything, but as the classes evolve in the next 4 or 5 weeks, we'll try to share as much as possible. Mainly, we want to share the techniques so you can practice on your own. And if you want to try, we have different meditation sessions on Zoom that we offer throughout the week. You can go to DaytonHeartfulness.org website. It's our website, DaytonHeartfulness.org. Heartfulness is spelled with one L, HEARTFUL, heartfulness.org. And you will find all the schedules there with Zoom sessions and all that. And if you want to download, there is an app called Hearts app, HEARTS app, Hearts app. And that you can download, and there you can meditate with a trainer. It is a free app. There's no charge. What all you do is you can press that I want to meditate with a trainer. You probably have to put your name and email address, and then the trainer says, please begin. They probably don't do the relaxation, but they do say, please begin. And also the Hearts app has a relaxation technique. It has a meditation technique. It has the cleansing technique. It's a very good app. And there is an app called HeartBot, HEARTBOT. If you have young children, they can do the relaxation, and they have affirmations for the children, positive affirmations, training the mind with giving positive suggestions. So you can utilize that tool also. So today I would like to start with the relaxation and lead you into meditation. And when the session is over, I will say that's all and bring you out. And after the session, if you have any questions, you can type it up on the chat box and I will try to answer. So this class is basic introduction to meditation, being in the now, letting go, taking deep breaths, diverting attention from out to in, and simply rest the mind in the heart with the intention the light is present and you are resting in the light. Okay? Close your eyes softly. Take a deep breath and let go. Feel grounded to the earth. Feel the earth's energy enter into your being. And begin with relaxing your toes. Feel the energy flow into your feet. Relax your feet. Bring your awareness to your ankles. Feel the energy in your ankles. Relax your ankles. Feel the energy flow into your legs. Be aware of your legs. Relax your legs. Take another deep breath and let go. Bring your awareness to your knees. Feel the energy in your knees. Relax your knees. Feel the energy flow into your thighs, into your hips. Feel firmly grounded in the seat. Feel the free flow of energy flowing there, relaxing you. Take another deep breath and let go. Feel the energy flow into your lower back. Relax your lower back. Feel it flow into your upper back. Relax your upper back. Bring your awareness to your stomach muscles. Feel the energy flow there. Take a deep breath and let go. Feel the energy flow into your chest. Relax your chest. Bring your awareness to your fingers. Feel the energy in your fingers. Relax your fingers. Let the energy flow through your palm. Flowing into your wrists. Feel it in your arms. Focus on your elbows. And let it flow into your upper arms. Feel the free flow of energy flowing in your hands, relaxing your hands. Take another deep breath and let go. Your hands are completely relaxed. Bring your awareness to your shoulders. Feel the energy in your shoulders. Feel the stress melting away. Relax your shoulders. Feel the energy flow into your neck. Relax your neck. Feel it flow into your jaws. Focus on your jaws. Relax your jaws. Feel the energy flow onto your face. Relax your facial muscles. Feel joy on your face. Come into your temples. Relax your temples. Come into your forehead. Relax your eyebrows. Feel your brain is resting. Your mind is calm. Take another deep breath and let go. Body is completely relaxed. Bring your awareness to your heart. Feel your heart. Where the heart beats. Make an intention. The source of light is present within you. The light from the source is illuminating your entire being. Your mind is drawn to this light. Your mind is resting in the light. Rest in the light. Let's meditate. That's all. Take another deep breath and let go. Feel the calmness spread throughout your being. You may open your eyes when you are ready. Thank you all for joining the meditation. I hope, especially for those of you who are here for the first time, or I hope it brought some calmness. And next week, we will explore a little bit deeper into the meditation part, because there are several energy fields that are inside us. If we are able to tap into those fields, we can easily bring transformation inside ourselves. Changing is not difficult. It just takes the right techniques. And as we learn to rest the mind, our mind gets sharpened, becomes more powerful instrument. And with that, we are able to bring transformation. So we will work on those next week. Thank you, Rama. Anybody has any questions, feel free to put it on the chat box. If not, have a beautiful night, and we will see you all next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Uma.
Thanks. Yeah.